Hello, team.
Hello.
Thank you for showing up today for the last meeting that we're going to have. So, in this meeting, we're going to discuss different things. We're going to see different complexity and challenges that might arise when the solution that we have proposed is implemented. We will also look at once drip and dries relocate physically, what might our solution, how our solution might change, and we will also see um, different things about the key considerations that we should think about before opening another location once Kerry and Fred are considering to open another location in another branch in another location.
Yes.
So we're going to start by looking at different complexities and challenges that might emerge or happen once our solution is implemented. Let's start by complexity. What do you think could be the complexities?
Yeah. The complexity that may arise for our solution, I think it can be the change in management, since we propose that it will be better for Drip and Dry to find another nearby building in which it can relocate either of the businesses. So it will be there will be a change in management because both the coffee house and laundromat were in the same building. So either the cashier or people that were doing activities did it in that same area. But since there will be relocation of one business, there will be a change. There will be people in charge of accounting in coffee house and those in charge of accounting in laundromat. So there will be a slight change in management. Yeah, that can be a complexity because it can take time for Drip and Dry to adjust.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Joanna, what do you think could be a complexity?
One complexity will be not finding a nearby building to rent, and this will be challenging for the business because one of their solution maybe might be to find a nearby solution in order to keep their customers. But when they will not find a nearby building, it will be challenging because they will be forced to search for another building, maybe outside the city.
Yeah.
Yes.
So another complexity could be that it will be costly for Drip and Dry to implement a solution. As you know, separating laundromat and coffee house will require a very big budget for Drip and Dry to implement the solution. So I think that's all for about complexities. And now we're going to look at different challenges that might emerge in case Drip and Dry choose to implement our solution. Joanna, what do you think could be the challenges?
I think one challenge is that customers might reduce in number for the coffee shop because, as we know, the laundromat and the coffee shop were combined. Maybe some customers who were in search for laundromat might maybe buy drinks or food, but now as the two businesses will be separated, some customers will shift and go to the laundromat and the coffee shop will lose their customer.
Yeah. Because there are customers who usually come for laundromat, but when they pass by, they see people are drinking coffee. They are tempted also to buy some coffee. Yeah, it was not planned. So that's a good idea. So what do you think could be another challenge?
Another challenge for the implementation, I think, can be the inconvenience to the customers. That new location can be inconvenient or not good for customers because customers were used to that location. Many were used to coming there, and that others knew Drip and Dry for that location. So changing and finding another location can be inconvenient, and customers may think that place I can. The road is rough, and there are many reasons. So sometimes it can be inconvenient for customers.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So we're going to move on. So if Fred and Kerry told you that they want to expand Drip and Drive, its physical space, they want to expand Drip and Drive's physical space. So how might the solution that we choose might change, and why?
Okay.
What do you think, Grace?
I think since our solution is dividing both businesses, staying with one business in the same building and finding another building for another business, um, I think that if Fred and Kerry were to explore the idea of expanding, it will be a good solution because first of all it will reduce the cost of finding another location. Because if they were to choose another building, they will have to consider a budget which would require a lot of money. So if it expands that area and still have both the coffee and the laundromat in the same building, to be cost effective, because they will be in the same, they will be in operating in the same building. So I think if that was an option, we would try to consider it and change our solution, because it will be easy to find money or finance for that. Yeah, thank you.
So in addition, I think it would reduce customers' traffic. Did you talk about it?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't, but
Yeah, it will reduce customers' traffic, because the expansion will make the space very large to accommodate all the customers who usually come to Drip and Dry. So that will be another thing that might happen in case they expand Drip and Dry physical space. Joella, what do you think could be might happen to our solution?
I think our solution maybe might change a little bit because we'll not be able to find another location, but we will maybe separate the two businesses by putting in there two entrances, one for the coffee shop and another for the laundromat. At that time, the traffic will be reduced, as you said, because those who will be needing the coffee shop will have their own entrances, and the other for the laundromat will have their own entrance. So this will reduce that traffic and movement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for your good answers. I think we are on the right track. So the last thing that I want as a team to talk about, Fred and Kerry are thinking of opening another location, another branch of Drip and Rise in another location, but in a more remote location, a half hour away. You think it's quite far from where it used to be. And my question that I want as a team to discuss about is, what are some things that Fred and Kerry have to put into consideration as they are thinking of moving, opening another branch in a new location?
I think there is a couple of things to consider. The first might be the affordability of that place. Of course, for every business to decide or to choose another location for its branch, it needs to consider the affordability. If the building is expensive, of course it has to look for another area which fits with its current budget. So I think it's very important to assess the affordability of the location before moving there.
So that's on the side of Drip and Dry as a company. But now I want to give my suggestion now about customers. What should be considered on the side of customers. So here I'm talking about the accessibility of customers, because once they open a new branch in a new location, but it's not very convenient, it's inconvenient to customers to get there, it will be a challenge for them to keep the customers they usually have, because they can't get there easily as usual. So that accessibility of customers to the new location is another thing that Fred and Kerry have to put into consideration as they are opening a new branch. What do you think about some other key considerations?
Other key consideration would be thinking about the employees. Maybe their employees are living far from the new location, so this will be a challenge, and maybe some employees will quit the job because it is really costly for them to travel for the transportation fees. But also, maybe if the location is big, they will have a great number of customers, and at that time they will need to increase also the employees number. So this means that the salary will increase also, so they need to think about the budget of the salary if the number of employees increase.
Do you have any other suggestion apart from any other key consideration that from what we discussed?
Yeah, I can add on something about what you mentioned about customers in that new location. It will be important for Drip and Dry to first conduct research in that location, because they don't know the customers there, they don't know what their interests are, they don't know how loyal they can be or what triggers their loyalty. So it will be important to conduct research, know the area that is favorable for those customers, the time they're most available, and the kind of service they like. So it's important to make research before moving to a new location.
And that is called demographic information when you are studying about customers. So thank you very much for your good participation in this meeting, and we are done. Thank you very much.
Yeah, a pleasure. Thank you.